All right, so we started a series last week called Beliefs. Say Beliefs. And the basis of the series is on beliefs. It's based on the understanding of what we as believers believe. And so they have two. I'm trying to. I want to make sure I say this right because I don't want to come across anti anything. But sometimes you have to be anti something if you're pro God, pro Jesus. Okay, that went over super well. So a lot of times what we do is we get caught up in boxes, we get caught up in labels, we get caught up in names and stuff like that. And so when you look at Christianity has so many different elements to it. And so a lot of times what one Christian believes is not necessarily what another Christian believes. And what those two Christians believe, the third or fourth Christian may not believe. They all call themselves Christians, but they don't necessarily believe the same things. And so from that perspective, there is a foundational truth that we believe in as followers of Christ, as believers. Before there were believers and disciples and followers of the way before there were Christians. And so our foundation is based on being a disciple, making disciples, and following after Christ. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce our next speaker for this series. Are you ready? Not really? Are you nervous? Rip it off like a Band-Aid. Maddie's going to talk about salvation this morning.
All right, I'm super nervous, which is... I know that seems like it's not out of my character to be nervous, but I am very nervous. Every time I get up here, I'm nervous. But it's truthfully because, y'all are listening to what I got to say. It's a very big platform. I'm not a pop star singing some lyrics, though I would like to be. All right, so I'm talking about salvation. Last week, if you missed it, you can find the video. Misha talked about Christianity, and she did mention on there that I don't like that word Christian. I get real defensive, I guess, when people are like, "You're a Christian?" I'm like, "Miss me. I'm sorry, what?" I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I love him. Anyway, so talking about salvation, talking about being born again, I'm just going to jump right into it because I'm super nervous. I'm shaking. I don't know if y'all can tell. All right. So I Googled the word salvation, literally just Googled it to see what the definition was. And it literally means preservation or deliverance from harm or ruin. Now, when I think about being saved or following after God or, accepting Jesus into your heart or saying the sinner's prayer, John 3:16, all of that, I think of marriage because that's why God created marriage as a replication of how our relationship with him should be is, 100% vulnerable, spending the rest of our lives together, ups and downs, all the vows that you say, better or worse, sickness and health, all of that. So God created marriage in likeness and image for our salvation. And so when you say salvation, he's literally sent Jesus to die on the cross, to be delivered, or to die on the cross so that we could be saved by grace. Because without Jesus, we'd still be having to sacrifice lambs, and that just gets real messy, and it's super unhealthy, especially with the kind of heat that's outside. Stinks real bad. So, God was like, we're going to move on to something, a little bit more modern, which was grace through faith, So for me, when I think of salvation, and, thinking about this topic, that's what I always think of is, being in a marriage. Because yes, when you get married, this person, you've talked to this person, you love this person, you want to spend the rest of the life with this person, but that doesn't mean you know every single thing about this person. When me and Jesse got married, I knew things about Jesse, but I didn't know everything about Jesse. I knew of his family, but I didn't know every single person in his family. And that's what being in a marriage is. That's what being in a relationship is learning about this person. Understanding that, you are going to have to spend some time alone with your mother-in-law, and that's okay. And you are going to have to come to my family's house, and we're loud and rowdy, and you're going to be okay. But that's what it is to decide to be in that relationship. And that's what it is to decide to be saved. I'm deciding to be born again, and you wake up every day and that's your decision. You know what? You can't be, none of us are ever going to be equivalent to Jesus, but our goal is to try, take it one day at a time. Wake up and be like, I'm going to take one step towards doing it right. I'm going to take one extra step. I'm going to do this because this is what I know I can do. Because you can't go from not knowing somebody to being married. You can't, what is it? What does she say? Hold on, I got it. You can't marry a man you just met, right? Sorry. No? Thank you. Yes, Elsa. She definitely said that to her sister. You can't marry a man you just met. Because while, yes, you can, there's a lot of red flags with that. You probably should not do that. And that's what salvation is God wants us to trust him. Trust me and decide and choose to be a part of a relationship with me, to be in this commitment with me, to choose to get up every morning and believe that I died on the cross for you, for your life, for you to have a happy life, for you to do things and pursue me and be after, follow after God. It's a choice that you wake up every morning and decide. It's not easy. I'm still trying to get my salvation, Jesus. I'm trying every day. It's hard. Anyway. And so I don't think that God expected us to be perfect overnight at all. In a marriage, you can't get it right the first week. You're not going to. They're going to leave the toothbrush out and squeeze the toothpaste from the middle, and you don't like that. But, oh, well, that's just how I do it. You don't like it? Brush your teeth with another toothpaste. I don't know what to tell you. That's where I squeeze the toothpaste from, in the middle. But 10 years later, he gets it. He knows I'm going to squeeze it from the middle, and I try not to. When I'm done, I try to, squeeze the end so it looks like I didn't squeeze it right from the middle, even though I did. That's just how I brush my teeth. But it's deciding to stay with me even though I squeeze the toothpaste from the middle. Is deciding to be with me even though he don't like the way I burn my hamburger helper. That's okay. You don't got to eat it. That's just how I make it. I have to learn. I have to make it right. There's things that you do in a relationship, in a marriage, to grow, to be better at that marriage. And it's the same thing with God. You are not going to be good at being a Christian tomorrow. It's hard. It's not easy because people want to try you. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, see? Y'all get it? Y'all go to H-E-B. Y'all go to Walmart. Y'all drive in the cars. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you leave your house, you're putting yourself in a position to work out your salvation. As soon as you walk out the door. Because you can't decide what other people are going to do. You can't decide what other people are going to post. You can't decide how other people are not going to put their blinker on when they decide to get over a lane. You can't decide their decisions, but how you respond is what you can decide. And that's what salvation is. That's what being born again is deciding how you're going to respond. And it's not easy. Because yes, Jesus is like, love your neighbor as much as you love yourself. But when you really have to have self-awareness about how much you love yourself. How much do you love yourself? I love myself so much that, yes, I do go get me food when I know that there's food at the house. Because I'm like, you know what? Jason's Deli just sounds so good. The sandwich meat in the fridge does not sound great. And I love me. And I love being full. So I'm going to drive over to the store and I'm going to buy me some Jason's Deli because I like it. It's good. I love me. You know what I'm saying? And so when Jesus asks us to love our neighbor as much as we love ourselves, think about how much you love yourself. You go out of the way for yourself. I like these shoes. These are real nice. I'm finna buy them for myself. Okay. Think about how much you love yourself. That's all God's asking us to do, is to be considerate. I think the one place that I'm actually really considerate is when I'm driving. Because, first of all, to be honest with you, it's because I have a new van. And I'm like, don't hurt my van. If you need to pass me, go ahead and do that. Because if you hit my van, I'm going to be so hurt. Obviously, because I love myself and my van. So I'm very considerate of other drivers because I'm like, you know what? I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what time you have to be at work. I don't understand. You could be in the rush trying to go to the hospital. You might need to get to the store before 6 o'clock because you got to make it to the movie theater and you don't have candy. I don't know your situation. But I'm going to get out your way because I know that if I was in your situation, I want you out of my way. So I'm trying to be considerate, making those decisions of how I respond to these people who don't know how to drive. And it's the same thing. It translates right into your life. No, I don't like the way you said. No, I don't like how you're doing your job. Whether it be your coworkers. I don't like how you're standing there doing nothing. It's really driving me crazy. But you know what? If it was me and I was thinking of myself and I love myself, yes, I want to get this money doing nothing all day long. So I understand why you're standing there I get it. Doesn't make it right, but I understand. And so with that consideration of love your neighbor as yourself, be thoughtful. That's what God called us to do, is understand that everybody's got their issues. Everybody's going through it. Everybody's trying to achieve some kind of resolution within themselves because that's how God created us. He created us with a hole that he can only fill intentionally because he wanted a marriage with us, because he wanted a relationship with us. So that emptiness, the void that people are trying to fill was intended for God to fill it. Whether we go after that relationship, whether we pursue it, is up to us. It's a choice every day that we make to stay living in our house with our husband or to not. That's a choice we make every single day. It gets easier when they don't make the tea that I like. You know, I don't like this tea. Now I have to eat it and whatever. But it's a choice I make to stay, even though it's not my favorite. You know what I'm saying? That's what God's calling us to do. To make the choice to seek your salvation, to seek a relationship, to stay committed. Doesn't happen overnight. 50 years of marriage, Lord. It seems so far away. But I don't think that it's unachievable. People do it all the time. But they take it one day at a time. That's what I'm saying. One day at a time. Wake up. Okay, today I'm not going to be mad when the socks are on the floor. I'm not going to be upset that there's a sock and a soaking towel in front of the shower. I'm not going to be upset about that. I'm going to choose to be upset about somebody drank my cherry Dr. Pepper. That's where I'm going to use my energy because that matters to me more. But getting up every morning and choosing to be in a relationship with God, choosing to seek your salvation, choosing to be like, you know what? I do believe in God. I do believe he died on the cross. And I do believe that he wants me to love my neighbors as much as I love myself. And I love me some myself. So let me translate that energy and those vibes and to be considerate of other people. Saying all that to say, you don't have to be, Pastor Cello to get somebody saved, to lead them to Jesus. You don't have to have everything right. You don't have to, know all